Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm John Reisinger.
Nintendo's been checking all the necessary boxes of late with the Nintendo Switch. Exciting new concept?
Check.
Tons of third-party support?
Checko.
Hopefully, at least. Launching with a new Zelda game?
Yeah, maybe not so much.
That's a problem. It seems after making all the right moves, Nintendo's gone and pulled another Nintendo.
Oh, they did it.
Yeah, because they may be missing out on one of the biggest possible reasons to buy a Switch at launch, because new rumors are circulating that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is not going to be a Switch launch title anymore.
But not all hope is lost, because another game might be able to take its place, the next 3D Super Mario.
Why not both? But let's unpack both the rumors, starting with Zelda. This one comes from a well-known Nintendo insider, a rank that just about everyone on the internet seems to have now, named Emily Rogers.
Emily Rogers' track record has been on point several times in the past, but more recently, she's been on the money for nearly all of the revealed Switch information, especially in the weeks leading up to the reveal when she accurately called the date of the announcement. She's also been teasing out lots of hardware-specific info for the console.
Yep, Rogers is now reporting that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to miss launching alongside Nintendo's new console due to problems with the game's localization. According to her sources, the game's localization process, which involves translating all the game's text, NPC dialogue, and quests, is taking way longer than expected due to the game's massive size. One of her sources went as far as saying that Breath of the Wild is a very ambitious game, maybe even too much.
So she first heard these whispers from one of her Nintendo sources as early as September, then again in October. Now more sources have corroborated those initial rumors, stating that Breath of the Wild's localization won't be finished until sometime in December. Once the localization finishes, that will be followed by a large round of testing, a process which will take at least 4 to 6 months.
Oh no.
Yep, and according to Rogers, it may last even longer than that because Nintendo wants Breath of the Wild to be as bug-free as possible, that's nice. That's good guy Nintendo.
So if you're hoping that Nintendo can maybe shorten the process a little bit more than 4 to 6 months and get it done in under 3 to get the game out in time for Switch's launch in March, well, I mean, that might be pushing it. Keep in mind that Nintendo has previously called Breath of the Wild the biggest game they've ever done. It's bigger than Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Wind Waker combined.
That's pretty big, actually.
It's supposed to be something like 3 times the size of Skyrim as well.
That's gonna be a lot of horse riding. Rogers writes that Breath of the Wild might be slipping all the way until summer 2017.
No.
That's yet another delay for the game, which was first announced in 2013 with a release date of 2015, which became 2016, which 2017. Yeah, this happens.
Let's just hope you don't have to tick up the year once more.
No!
And just in case your heart isn't crushed enough, Eurogamer has also chimed in with their own report claiming that their sources have also communicated the same timeline to them regarding Breath of the Wild. So, unfortunately, this one is looking pretty true.
Yep, and if it's true, it would certainly be a big blow for Nintendo. Launching with the title would be a nice win for the next system, especially since there's so much hype for Breath of the Wild in particular. Even though most of the Wii's launch numbers were fueled by the concept itself, it certainly helped Nintendo's case with hardcore gamers that it had Twilight Princess at the same time.
Yeah, the bigger your launch library, the bigger your launch.
Who'd have thought?
Breath of the Wild also represents a shift in Nintendo's thinking with the franchise, which seems to be garnering a lot of support from fans. I mean, we laughed when Nintendo announced that Zelda would be the only game they brought to E3, and they ended up bringing a few more, admittedly, but Breath of the Wild turned out to be more than enough. I mean, they basically were doing streams of it all day, every day, and still no one could get enough. That was the #1 talked about game on social media during E3 this year.
Yep. However, this bad news does come with a bit of other good news, because we're also hearing that the next Super Mario might be leaping its way into Breath of the Wild's launch spot.
Okay, a new challenger approaches.
That's not a Mario reference.
No, but it is a Super Smash Bros. Reference.
Okay.
According to Eurogamer's report about Breath of the Wild's delay, their sources indicate the next Mario might be ready in time for the Switch launch window, and they aren't the only one reporting this. User Dr. Cupcakes on
Dr.
Twitter,
Cupcakes, my favorite doctor.
I'd like to get to know a lot better, was one of the early sources for Battlefield 1 moving back to World War I, and also wrote that he's heard the next Mario game is locked for launch and basically finished.
Yay. At the moment, we still don't have any idea what the next Mario game is, save for the small bits of gameplay we saw in the Switch trailer, which Nintendo still won't confirm. They haven't even technically announced that a Mario is coming at all, save for a brief mention that we'd see it next E3.
Well, now hopefully we'll see it a little bit earlier than that. So while losing Zelda might seem like a killing blow for Nintendo's early launch numbers, gaining Mario could more does make up the difference, especially with a mainstream audience that knows Mario better than they know Link. And they know that Link is actually the character.
Yeah.
Might even generate more buzz than a Zelda title overall. As popular as Zelda is, I mean, everyone recognizes Mario. With hardcore casual gamers, it's also much more synonymous with the Nintendo brand in general, and happens to be the biggest selling video game franchise of all time. So if you have to lose Legend of Zelda and launch with something else, Mario's probably the way to go.
Yeah, Super Mario franchise has sold more than 310 million units on its own, while the entire Legend of Zelda franchise has only sold around 85 million across all its games. And that's not even including some of the Mario spin-off titles like Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario RPG. Mario RPG was fantastic!
Yeah.
And the Mario Sports franchises, which are also actually really good, coming from someone who hates sports, which brings the total closer to 530 million.
The NES and SNES Mario games have outsold the entire Zelda franchise to date, if you're wondering just how big Mario is. And Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 combined outsold Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword 20 million to 10 million. And then New Super Mario Bros. Blew them all out of the water with 30 million in sales.
Yeah, they did good with that one. So it's safe to say Mario has a few hundred million on Zelda in terms of brand power. But either way, it's not like Zelda is moving out of the launch window entirely if this rumor's true. It's only pushing it back a couple of months to summer. This means Nintendo still has a ridiculously solid 1-2 punch to start off their brand new console.
Still would prefer a 2-2 punch. Couple that with...
Fuck is a 2-2 punch?
That means that instead of one game and then another one, I get 2 games, and then I'll take...
Cadence is doing this behind the camera.
You're gonna take it as like boxing.
Come at me, bro! Come at me!
That's how you hit, right? So if you couple like all of that with some... That's not how you hit, Eddie? No?
That's how I fight.
You just walk up to someone and go... Bah.
That classic Ryu move from Street Fighter. Hadouken!
Couple all that with some of the other launch titles we're hearing rumors of, like a potential Pokemon game, which would be really, really awesome. Smash Brothers Wii U port coming in the first 6 months, plus the relatively reasonable price leaks we've been hearing about this week, pointing towards a $250 base model cost, and you can hear more about that in a report that we'll put in the end slate. We could be looking at a smash hit for Nintendo, as long as they just get that lineup.
But still, it'd be better if Nintendo would just not delay it, because some of us don't care if it's 10% smaller than what Nintendo wants it to be. We just want to play, Zelda and Link and all the fun little stuff.
I mean, as much as I bitch about it, though, I would rather them delay it and put out a good game than put out a shitty game that
never works.
Million patches. I mean, look at that's Nintendo's thing, is when their games come out, they're pretty flawless.
No one else does that, and they're fine.
Yeah, real good.
They shouldn't be, but they are.
What do you guys think of Nintendo potentially delaying Zelda as a launch title for Switch and Mario taking its place? Let us know in the comments.
For future updates on the roller coaster of Nintendo fandom, like this video and subscribe to the Know.
Are we happy today? Are we sad today? I don't even know anymore.
I'm happy.
Well, yeah, but you're probably high.
No comment. Is this our power stance?
This is our power stance.
This is the power news.
It is.